Hey guys, we are talking about NFTs today. This is something I've been very, very excited about for a long time. I love NFTs, and you need to get with the NFT program. If you're my age, you remember a time before call waiting and then call waiting so you could actually get two calls at your house. You remember the time of dial-up modems, pre-modems and post-modems where you couldn't use the phone if it's if someone was using the internet. Those were both life-changing technologies. Probably you remember the time before internet and after the internet. That was definitely a life-changing thing. Before TiVo and after TiVo, that was life changing for me, which is basically recording your shows. You remember before mobile phones, after mobile phones. A lot of this is all about phones, but it's really about technology. And I'm telling you, you're going to remember a time before NFTs and after NFTs. Everything is going to change. Everything's going to change, and the old way of doing things, the current way of doing things, is no longer going to exist. It's all going to be in the NFT world moving forward. And this is, the way art is going to be made, while sports tickets are going to be sold, anything with a contract, real estate is all going to be NFT based. It's, if you're signing it possibly at a job, it'll be NFT based. Everything's going to be NFT based. You need to understand this and learn as early, because you're going to be left, you're either going to get with the crowd and move forward with the way the world's going to work, or you're going to be left behind. So it's very, very, very important to understand NFTs. And I love it. I think it's fun. And today I'm going to focus on mostly what everyone thinks of when they think of NFTs. And those are like the crazy art collections, right? The apes that are just a JPEG. And what makes an ape worth so much money when you could create it yourself, or you can right click and save it to your computer and you have the exact same thing. That's what I'm going to get in today. I'm going to put the fun in non-fungible tokens. And I can't stress how important it is to understand this and to get involved in this. And I am also in the process of creating my own NFT. The purpose of that is really to teach you guys how to use NFTs, and the utility of it, and how great it is. So I will definitely tell you more about that to come, but I want you to understand NFTs first. I'm not doing a big sales pitch on NFTs to you, my own personal NFTs to you. I just want you to understand the technology, so you know what you're investing in, because no one's going to invest in anything they don't understand. But the way I got into it is I was like, I know this is the future. I'm going to invest myself, and that's how I'm going to learn. NFTs are not a get-rich-quick scheme. Nothing is in this world. So that's not your mindset going into this. It should not be your mindset going into this. People have gotten rich quick, both artists and collectors. It happens. That is not the expectation. You only hear the rare stories. It's very common to rug pulls where, that just means they get all your money and then they just disappear. So that also exists. This is the wild, wild west, just like the .com era when, venture capital funds were giving out money to pets.com and, any sort of website. And we're like, this is the next big thing, the next big thing. And they all faltered except maybe two or three. And those two or three, were Amazon and Apple, and those took off, where some of the other big names fell apart. So NFT is going to happen. The exact same thing's going to happen. But I want you to understand why this is important. It's very, very exciting world, and it's the future. I hate to call it that. It's the present. It really is the present right now, but it's also going to be the entire future. So it's very important. I've said that so many times, but very important to understand NFTs. So I recently had a PowerPoint party. I saw this trend on TikTok where people would come and present a topic they're passionate about. Some of them were silly, like what Disney dads I would want to have sex with, and it was funny, but you got to learn a little bit about the person. Some were serious. My personal party, someone, what's the better place to colonize, Mars or the moon, which was very interesting. Not only did I get to learn about my friend's interests, but I also learned a lot about the moon and Mars that I didn't know. So it's a pretty cool takeaway from a party. At this PowerPoint party, my own PowerPoint party, presented NFTs. And I'm going to show you the exact presentation I presented. And pretty much, I wouldn't say every single person from the party, but at least 80% of the people have followed up and had more NFT questions after I presented this. And so that told me I struck a chord. That tells me that this is knowledge people want. There's knowledge for NFTs that people don't know where to go and don't know what to do. So I'll happily be your guide. I'm your NFT guy. So if you have any NFT questions, go to the link tree right here. Go to the Discord. There's NFT channel. We're going to answer all your NFT questions. And you know what? I'll say this. I'll give out a free NFT to once I hit 10 people join the Discord today. I will give a free NFT to one of my members of the Discord as long as 10 people join today. And so you can get started with a free NFT. What's that worth? Probably $200. I'll give you one that's roughly worth $200. But you're going to learn more. It's not just the value. You get a lot of strings attached, positive strings attached. It's the utility of it is what's important, not just how much it's worth. So let me share my presentation here. And before we get started, this is a presentation I shared. I could not figure out, I started about a minute late because I could not get this presentation to share on the right screen to share with you. So whenever I put play at the top, it would go to a different screen. So if someone in the comments wants to give me some on-the-fly tech support, that'd be great. Otherwise, you get to see all the slides and how I can change it within Keynote. So I recognize my idiocy, and I don't even know if idiocy is a word. So that it all goes together. This is great. But yeah, if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I should be able to see them now. I believe I've set it up so I can see all the comments. Definitely want to answer your questions. But first, let me start about NFT and putting the fun and non-fungible tokens. So this is an NFT here. So let's start with this. A good example is the Mona Lisa. You'll hear this phrase a lot, like, it's no Mona Lisa, the NFT. And here's the original, Mona Lisa. It's insured for, it's never been sold. France owns it. And Max says the link tree is not working. That is right, because we just changed the name of the link tree. It's the House of AC now, no longer House of AC. So let me maybe take that away. It's now Linktree/the House of AC, because all the other branding I use is the House of AC. So hopefully that one works for you. And thank you for pointing that out, Mac. Appreciate it. Okay. Mac, as an artist, I know Mac's a graphic artist. I think every graphic artist needs to learn about this. This is the future of your entire career in your business in many ways. And it's all about layering within your art. And as a graphic artist, you'll see why soon. Okay, so Mona Lisa, it's assured for $100 million. So let's assume that's $100 million, right? This is great for France. They put it in the Louvre, and you get a lot of tourism dollars. Leonardo da Vinci doesn't get any proceeds out of that as an artist. He actually made this for an assistant, left it to him in his will. So one of the most famous paintings in the world, if not the most famous painting in the world, the artist got $0 for it, continues to get $0 for it. Only became worth a lot of money once he died. I mentioned that, as you'll see why this NFTs changed the game. All right. But you can own the Mona Lisa. Did you know that you can own the Mona Lisa? Walmart has an unlimited supply of posters for $18.99 here. All you got to do is buy the exact same frame as the Louvre, put it in your room, and you own the Mona Lisa. Now, you guys may be giggling and saying, yeah, I know it's a poster. But that's the exact same thing as saying, I own the exact same NFT as you because I right clicked, saved it, and put it on my desktop. I can, or if it's, I could repaint the Mona Lisa with the same canvas and the same oils and the same paint, and maybe I practice over and over and get it right. I own the Mona Lisa, right? That's the same thing as saying I could draw that. If you think about modern art and Andy Warhol, he had, modern art. He had, exhibits in New York City, and it was just a line of toilets. And he bought them at the home improvement store, and he put up, porcelain white toilets in the middle of an art gallery, and said, "This is my new exhibition." And people are like, "Oh wow, Andy Warhol is great, and it's awesome." And people in modern art world are like, "Oh, I could have done that." And whenever you hear that phrase, the response is, "Yeah, but you didn't." And so that's sort of a lot of NFTs is, yeah, you could do it, but you didn't. And so that's the same with the Campbell Soup logos. The famous Campbell Soup signs that Andy Warhol does. Is that original? Yeah, because no other artist copied a label of a major company. You could have done it, but you didn't. So that's the common phrase here, and I want to tell you what you can do and what to look out for in the NFT world. So, how do I prove like I own the Mona Lisa if it wasn't hanging up in the museum? How do you prove like the value of an NFT? All comes from the blockchain, and the blockchain is just a ledger of who owns it. So a lot of art is the provenance. Who owned this painting before? Oh, it was this king, this sultan of whatever. This famous movie actor owned this painting and then died and left in the will. Like that's the provenance. So NFTs have built-in provenance. Not that it necessarily who owned it. It may help. Like Eminem just bought a Bored Ape for $450,000. I don't know if he'll ever sell it, but I promise you, if I bought a Bored Ape, I would tell everyone that Eminem owned it before me. Why wouldn't you? So that might add some value. But let me show you the blockchain here. So this blockchain means transaction log. So if you look on OpenSea.com, which is the eBay of everything NFTs, or maybe more accurately, the Amazon of everything NFTs, regardless, it's OpenSea.io. And I'll show you, I'll be linking there later and clicking through OpenSea later. But that's where you go. You pull up an item and you look at this provenance here, this transaction log. And I think my zoom is a little, I need it to still go bigger. Okay. All right. Let me put myself smaller in the corner. Maybe that makes things bigger. Okay. Here you can see, wow, this was minted. This just means the NFT was created. It was minted, and it was gone to Jimmy 7 months ago. Jimmy then transferred it to his vault, which was another wallet of his. And basically, he moved it from an online location to an offline location because it was worth a lot of money. And then Jimmy sold it or transferred it to E1356 10 days ago. It looks like it was a transfer and not a sale, but if it was sold, it would tell you the sold and the sale price. It's just this receipt, and it goes on forever and never ends. So if you own an NFT, you can look at the properties, see this transaction log, which is called the blockchain, and you can say, wow, this one went from here to here to here, and it was minted on this day. So that is how I can prove that my JPEG is real and your JPEG is a fake, and that you right-click and copy mine. Just like a poster of the Mona Lisa, right? I love that JPEG. I'm going to right-click and save it, and I put it in my profile. I can't prove it's actually mine. So that's how it owns its value. Now, this is where artists make money. This is what I love about this, because I love supporting artists. And it's whenever it's called a smart contract. So not everyone, but majority of NFTs come with a smart contract. And this is just a list of rules that go with it. So this one says, hey, the creator of this collection will, one, make money when it's sold originally. Maybe they won't make as much money, but unless they've got a big following and it sells out quickly, they'll make a lot of money. But once Jimmy here sells it to Susie, at whatever price, the artist gets a royalty of 2.5%, right? And then if Susie sells it for double 2 years later, the artist gets 2.5%. So what does this do? Well, it allows artists to have a living wage. It means they can make money without dying. It also means once they die, those royalties can go to their heirs, and you can create a will. And so when these Mona Lisa type paintings sell over, Da Vinci paintings and sculptures sell over and over again, that money never transfers back to the artist's family. This will. So this is great. Artists continually make money. And what does this also do is it creates an opportunity for that artist to create a following, a community, because the more involved that they're in with their audience and their buyers of their art, the more valuable that's going to go up. And if that artist, does more collections and whatever they need to do to grow an audience, it makes all the other art collections go up in value. And the artist will not care if someone else buys this painting or someone bought it from the artist for $1,000 and now they're selling it for $2,000 because he gets that royalty or she gets that royalty. So this is a great way for artists to come through here. And link trees, I just realized I never switched off the link tree. 1 second. The new link tree is the House of AC to be consistent branding. Let me see if I can find it right there. Sponsored by, this whole show is sponsored by Jasmine Home Lending. If you want a mortgage, I'm a partner there. Would love you to get the mortgage. That's not what I meant to put up. I'm just trying to, well, here's my little resume. They all have the link tree thing otherwise. Okay, so I'll do that one. Or maybe I can just do, I apologize. This is very unprofessional of me, but I am very unprofessional. I don't know what I'm doing. But anyway, let me just go right there. That may or may not work. It probably doesn't work. Okay, continuing on. This is, yes. So that's what's great about artists. Next slide. So what makes this worth $25,000? Right? Like we get the smart contract, we get the blockchain, but what makes this worth $25,000? Roaring Leaders is a community I've invested in. Full disclosure, by me telling you this, it doesn't mean go buy Roaring Leaders. I bought it. My friend Roddy told me to buy it. I bought it. I thought it was pretty cool. And that's the gist of it. If you want to go buy it, go buy it. This is one of the ones I will give away for free for the 10 people who join my Discord. I will pick one to give away a free Roaring Leader cup. All right. So it starts with the minting process. Okay. So the standard, it doesn't have to be this way, is, hey, I'm an artist. I'm going to create an NFT based on lions, right? In this example. And I'm going to mint 10,000 of them. And so what's going to happen is that's the limit. It's a computer program that says only 10,000 of these can be made, which is great because it's all about supply and demand. I was obsessed with baseball cards as a kid, and I thought I was going to get rich when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, but all my allowance, all mowing every neighbor's lawn to buy packs of baseball cards because I was going to be rich. Because my parents' generation, they get people who had Mickey Mantle and Babe Ruth rookie cards got rich. So that was going to be my plan to riches. The baseball card industry folded because they had unlimited supply of baseball cards. I could collect all the rookie cards I could, and they would just start printing more and more and more and more. Topps, Donruss, Upper Deck. They're like, oh, the more we print, the more money we make. Why would we turn off the printers? And they devalued all the baseball cards, and now they're worth crap, right? But they're still in my closet, so I probably should throw those away. That being said, this is limited. We're only making 10,000. We are not making any more. So that protects the collector in that you have one of 10,000 of something. Okay. Within that, you can see, well, some of these have blue manes, and some of these have gold skin and a wizard hat and a rainbow mane and gold wings. Why does that matter? Okay, so what an artist does is an artist takes the drawing, builds different layers on top of it. Some will have the green skin, some will be sticking out their tongue, some will have gold teeth, some will have gold wings. And it's just a random roll of the dice. And it'll say, hey, when you mint one, this computer algorithm will randomly roll the dice on what your hair will be, randomly roll the dice on what your mouth will look like, what your background is, what sort of clothes you're going to be wearing. It's just a random roll of the dice. And that creates variety. It also creates rarity, right? So it comes, one of these 10,000, even the artist doesn't know how many people are going to have the USA Uncle Sam top hat, because it depends what the computer algorithm does. And then when you go into one of these, let's say you get this one with the gold wings, you can go into the properties of the JPEG, which is an NFT, not the JPEG. A JPEG would not have these properties associated with it. NFT would. And you can say, wow, after 10,000 were minted of these, the random roll of the dice said only 11% of them are light purple background. Only 5% of them are a mystical lion, which is the breed here. 13% of them ended up having gold tunnels for earrings. 4% had the Ethereum eyes. You can't really see, but there's purple diamonds, which is the symbol for Ethereum. 9% have the rose as in their mouth. 100% are male. They were all lions. Shining, and that was just because the artist said, I'm not going to do a variety of gender. I'm just going to make them lions. Because that, if you roll something 10,000 times, it's impossible to have 100%. I mean, not impossible, but statistically impossible to have 100% male. This just tells me the artist said, I'm just making them all male in the computer code. Shiny aviators, 9%. Mystical hair, 3%. And golden wings, 2%. So based on this, if I have something that only has 2%, well, one already as a collector, I've got something that's 10,000, one of 10,000 because I bought a roaring leader. On top of that, 2% have a trait of golden wings. So it's even smaller. I've got one of 200 people who have this golden wings, right? So that's how the value's created. You might be the only one that has golden wings based on this computer. And that's how something's worth millions of dollars. Wow, this is so rare. No one else has the golden wings if I happen to be the only one. All right, so within the wings, I can go in here and say, all right, how many, 2% have the wings, right? That's maybe I went too far. 2% have golden wings, okay. So 2% have golden wings. And within the wings, 14 have rainbow wings, 51% have unicorn, 175 have golden, 220 have mystical, and there's a total print of 7,785. Now, why is that? Because I told you that they minted 10,000. But it says of everyone, their wings, some of these have no wings, but the total is 7,000. If you add all these up, it doesn't equal 10,000. Well, that's because some have been burned. And what does that mean? Well, occasionally an artist will just, if they're not sold, they might burn some, which makes it more valuable. So now instead of, I think I'm getting ahead of myself. What's the next slide here? Yeah. So an artist may burn some to create more value, but what an artist can do now is once they've sold 10,000 and they want to sell more to their community and raise the value of their art, they can sell something and burn their actual NFT with an elixir. So what does that mean? So that means that this artist created an elixir, a limited supply. Maybe they created 500 elixirs, maybe they created 300, or maybe what's that happened in this case, they said, hey, if you burn this roaring leader you just bought from us, I will give you an elixir. And what burning means is destroying it. It's destroyed, it's taken out of the supply, it can never come back. As a collector, I like that. I like other people destroying theirs because now I had one of 10,000 of something. And then they went down to one of 9,999 of something. And if that person also had gold wings, that it makes my worth more because now fewer of them have gold wings, right? And also, if another person burns theirs, then it goes down to 9,998, and they get rarer and rarer and rarer. I got something more valuable. But why? And then so when I go sell it, it's worth more. The artist makes more money. I make more money. But what can I do with this elixir? Like why do I want an elixir? Well, this is great. It's just a computer program that Elixir says, hey, if you burn one, I'll give you an elixir, and you could put elixir on another Roaring Leaders. So now I'm incentivized to hold multiple Roaring Leaders. I can have 4 or 5 or 6, and I'm going to burn one so I can have an elixir. And with that elixir, I'm going to get to put that elixir on another Roaring Leader that I hold. And so what the elixir does says, hey, we will re-roll the dice on one of those traits that you have. So this guy had a yellow jacket, on, which wasn't rare at all. I could burn one of my Roaring Leaders to get an elixir, so I could re-roll the dice on this guy's uniform. And so the elixir was applied to this Roaring Leader, and it changed its jacket into this jacket, which was rare. I forget what this is called. This looks like a robot armor jacket of some sort. So there you have it. Now, as a collector, I'm making rarer and rarer collectibles. Started with one of 10,000. I burned some. Other people in the community are burning theirs. So now it's down to 7,800 that only exists in the supply. On top of that, I get to take an elixir and make one of my other Roaring Leaders and make them rarer by re-rolling the dice, by giving an opportunity, re-rolling the dice on one trait. So you could pick whatever the trait is the most common and re-roll that and upgrade an NFT that you have. So here you go. Yeah. So the current supply in total is 8,245, and there was 1,700 total burns. That's the tokens and elixirs here. The creator of this collection earns 6% royalty. So the one example I showed you before was 2.5. This one's 6%. And I've got a rarer thing, and now it sells for $2,262. I bought this for $200. I bought another one for $200, burned one, and now you can sell it for $2,262, right? And so that's how you can create value out of what you're collecting within this NFT community. Now, there's additional funds. So another way to think about this is, sorry, this is really bothering me. Let me just say, okay. I've lost my screen. Can you see my screen? Do you see comments that say my movie recording? Hold on. Okay, yeah, we're a high-end movie studio here. Okay, let's go back to the comments. If the screen goes back, I'm looking at the comments. Just let me know if it goes sideways again. Okay, so I am talking to you about what else comes up with this. Okay, so I told you about the smart contracts and everything. Another way to look at NFTs is a membership to a country club. Okay. So if I own an NFT, I'm part of their community. And their community is all built on Discord. And this is why I keep pushing Discord. Please join my Discord. Because if you're interested in this, you have to be on Discord. That's just what it comes down to. And that's also how you evaluate a lot of these properties of communities. So let me go to the Roaring Leaders Discord for you. And I got to log in. I had it on a different browser. I'm having all sorts of technical difficulties today. So if I go, here's a Discord. Let me find Roaring Leaders. Okay. So this is a Roaring Leaders Discord. You can't see that. Okay. Roaring Leaders Discord. I can make it cover this. Okay. And it's just a chat forum. Nothing too great here, but you can see that there's close to 16,000 members, which is great. They're a growing community, and you'll hear why. Anyway, so you get to be part of this country club, and what I mean by that is these are some might feel like friends, like because we all bought into this Roaring Leader. And part of the Roaring Leader is that you get to go, if you own a card, you're part of this mutual fund that they invest in. So let me show you this slide. There's something called the Leaders Fund. So when you buy, and every community has usually some variation of this. If you buy into this Leaders Fund, it's a mutual fund. So you know all those royalties, that 6% royalties, 2.5% royalties, whatever that you see on there, they're saying we're going to take a portion of those royalties from the secondary sales, 3% of those royalties, put them into a Leaders Fund. And with that Leaders Fund, they're going to reinvest your money. So it's almost like an investment vehicle. These guys are going to take money to go buy other NFTs. So this is the Leaders Fund. And this is where the royalties that they've made, they're splitting it to reinvest for the community. And because I own a Roaring Leader, I am a part of this community, 10,000 people. So I own 1/10,000th of this fund. I have a fractional ownership of everything that they're buying with their money that they're making off the secondary sales. So they donated some of the really more expensive Roaring Leaders in here. They've got an Adidas one, which I'm going to talk about later. CyberKong, which is 5 ETH. ETH is roughly $3,500, rounded up $4,000. This is like $15,000, $20,000 NFT because of the properties. Bored Ape, 45 ETH. This is one of the most expensive ones. I'm a fractional owner of it because I own, in this, you can see it's recently sold 3 months ago for 45 ETH. Again, ETH is about $4,000. So if I'm doing my math right, that's what, 160,000 plus. It's got to be more than that. 45,000 times 4,000, 45 times 40,000. That might be a $400,000 thing. All right. Anyway, I'm sure someone in the comments will do the math properly, but you get the idea. So because I'm a Roaring Leader, I'm a fractional ownership in this Leaders Fund. If I sell my Roaring Leader or someone else sells their Roaring Leader, 3% of that sale goes back into this community treasury that reinvests their money to buy more things. And then if they end up selling this Bored Ape for 80, ETH or whatever, then they share the wealth with the Roaring Leaders community. And you can only be part of that Roaring Leaders community if you have a Roaring Leader NFT. So if I sell it, I'm basically excommunicating myself from the community. If I buy more, then I get 3 shares of this Leaders Fund. And so some people buy 50 or 100 of different communities based on what they're investing in. And this was what I'm telling you is I'm going to create my own NFT. I want to help you guys invest. And I want to create a community treasury like this and keep making everyone wealthy. That's the idea. So as an artist, you might be like, well, what's next? They printed 10,000 Roaring Leaders, right? So back to this slide, the mutual fund, we just discussed that. So what's next for the Roaring Leaders? Well, remember when I said they were all lions that were male? Well, now they printed a second generation, much smaller. Only 695 were female. And so then you got excited. Hey, I want to be part of this community. I missed out on the original mint of the lions. Well, now I can buy the secondary thing from the same artist community. Typically, it's multiple artists. You have a programmer, an artist, things like that. The Roaring Leader community, we're going to do 695 female. And we're going to mint those. And it's the exact same process. Oh, I got a female. Yay, it's exciting. Artist makes more money. They're growing their community. I told you they only had 10,000, but now they've got 16,000 on their server, on their Discord server. It's because they're now growing the community with a second collection. Now this one's only women, and it's the same roll of the dice. So what happens after that, right? Well, now that you have a lion and you have that's has certain personality traits and characteristics based on a roll of dice, you've got a female. Well, now they've introduced a third level, which is called mating. You can take your lion, mate it with a female, and what the computer algorithm will do will say, based on the traits of your parents, we're going to create a cub, and it'll roll out the cub based on the traits of their parents. So if the mom is wearing a crown, there's a chance that your child's going to wear a crown. If your mom has a diamond necklace, there's a chance your cub is going to have a diamond necklace. If your dad has gold skin and that's rare, it's a chance that your cub may have gold skin. So then it creates an opportunity to, I want to buy the women, the females. I want to, lionesses, or I can buy more lions. And then they've created people who can't afford to buy more than one of these. There's a Tinder dating profile, and you can rent someone's roaring leaders to breed them. It's like Tinder dating, and certain ones with rare traits you can rent for more, pay more money than the ones that don't have the rare traits, but you want a partner to breed a cub. It's really kind of fun and exciting. So you keep getting deeper and deeper with your audience as an artist, but you're also growing an audience more and more, adding more people. And this is my real family. This is my Roaring Leader family. I upgraded my lion with elixir, and it turned her into a lioness with rainbow skin. And that was a lucky roll with my elixir. I mated it with this guy. It was called a Mars skin, which is also rare. And these are the children it created. For whatever reason, this combination of DNA within my NFTs created these cubs. So the dad has bad eyesight and glasses. So my kids have bad eyesight and glasses. You can't see it's covered by the hat, but he's got the same earrings as well. This little skull earrings here. But my son cub has different earrings, but he does have earrings. Not everyone has earrings, but because my parent has earrings, my kids have earrings. This one has gold wings, which is really rare. I think that's because of the rare skin, possibly. I'm not sure where that came from. I don't know why this combination always presents burning flames on the head, but it does. So now, if you see burning heads, it's likely that maybe only my kids have burning heads. I don't know. I have to go look at all the other cubs. So this is sort of how you can make money, and why things are worth money, and how they become more valuable, and things along those lines. And so that was my Roaring Leaders walkthrough. And now that's just one way to do an NFT in art. And I'm going to tell you about another way of doing things. I want to talk to you about a collection called Crypto Moris. So Crypto Moris, maybe you've seen these things. I own 2 of these, and this is a very fast growing community, and you can determine the value of the community by the floor price. The floor price means that is, if I go buy now, the cheapest one available is that floor price, 12269, rounded up 1227. So that means if I want to buy when the floor is the cheapest one. And remember, that's an ETH. An ETH is roughly $4,000. It fluctuates all the time. It's probably down to 3,000 a day. It might be 5,000 in 2 days. But in my head, I always say roughly $4,000. That covers gas fees, things like that. Don't worry about it. But if you just multiply it by 4, that's pretty much what it's worth. So the cheapest one is 4,000. I bought both of mine, I think, for $1,800 each, and that was 3 weeks ago, kind of thing. But I'm going to tell you why this is a growing community, and why this is getting this is a little bit different. It operates completely different than Roaring Leaders. And so these cute little Crypto Moris, I want to say, are worth a lot of money. This one's got zombie brains, which is a rare trait. So let's look at more of the more expensive ones, and we'll see why. Price high to low. All right, so this one, wow, I've never seen. Wow, this looks crazy. I've never seen this one before. This is they're only asking $3 million for this, guys. So all you with $3 million, in your pocket, or 1,000 ETH that you want to invest in, invest in this. What is going on? It has a special trait. There you go. Only 0.12% have this head within the head within the head. That was a lucky roll of the dice. This person paid the exact same amount of money as everyone else during the mint. The lucky roll of the dice give them this rare trait of that. And you can see it was minted 3 months ago. They sold it for 17 ETH, which is what, $80,000, close to $80,000, and now it's for sale for $3 million. So this is their asking price. It doesn't mean that's what they're going to get, but that's why it's rare. That's why it's worth money. I've never seen this one either. Let me see why this one's listed for such a high value, and just because $7 million, almost $8 million. It depends what it sells for, not what the asking price is. Go into the properties. Only 0.25% have the Pharaoh. So that's what makes this one really rare. Also, 0.8% of the Galactic Empire close. So those two combinations, two rare things, less than 1%, make this really valuable. But I'll tell you, the Crypto Mori value is in the community. The Discord of the Crypto Mori, they do this really cool thing. Basically, is this the crypto? I'm in the Roaring Leaders. Let me go to the Crypto Mori Discord. So here, this person just announced today, hey, if you hold a Mori, I'm going to give away a Mori surfboard. And this is just a fan. This is someone who owns a Mori. It's not necessarily someone in the group. And so they're giving away Crypto Mori surfboards with the brand on it. So this is really like building, they call it the Famori, like a family of Crypto Mori holders. And they do this great thing called Twitter follow. Where is it? Can you see my screen here? Yeah, on the left. Twitter followers. Twitter follow Moris. Follow Moris. My friend told me to get into Moris. He's like, I've never had more traction on a tweet before than when I posted that I bought a Twitter Mori, because you put your tweet handle in here. This is a community of 10,000 people. You post your Twitter that you bought a Mori. They follow each other. So you buy a Twitter Mori, you put it on your Twitter profile, everyone starts following each other. And then when someone else buys a Twitter Mori, you start following them. And if you're interested in a large Twitter following, or you want to greatly increase your Twitter following, you do that. You make it your profile photo, and you do a Twitter Mori, you're going to have a huge following. And so that helps builds a great community there. I want to tell you another thing I've done with my Twitter Mori, Crypto Mori, is this. So these are, let me go to my profile here. OpenSea, these are some that I bought, but let me go to EC23. Oh, not that one. So these are some of the things I've bought. In this wallet, I've got 121, but let me go to my Crypto Moris. Let me actually do this. Okay, not that one. So Moris. Okay, here you go. I bought these two Crypto Moris, and people are offering me money on this. If you click on here, you can see I bought this. Someone minted this 3 months ago, moved it around, sold it for 0.49 ETH. And I guess they got impatient because I got a discount. So these things go up and down in value. I bought this for 0.036 ETH, which is about $1,000, 20 days ago. And it got transferred to AC23, which is me. Now I'm getting offers. I got this offer. It expires in 4 hours per 0.9 WETH, which is the same thing as ETH. It's just wrapped ETH. So I tripled the value of my thing by just being part of this community and other people being part of this community. I bought it at a discount, and now it's worth, I'm getting offers of triple that, right? So almost a full WETH, which would be almost $4,000. I'm not a genius. This was just luck. And so, sorry, highest offer here is 0.9, which is $3,000. Okay. So I own this one and I own this one. I bought two. I purposely got a male and female because of the Roaring Leaders thing, I was like, maybe we get to breed them one day. I have no idea if this is in the cards for the community, but that was my thought process. But this is what's cool. Someone who's a fan of the crypto, not just a fan of crypto Moris, but holds crypto Moris and wants to progress crypto Moris, the value of them, the community, had an auction and said, hey, the more the merrier. This is a derivative. These are called derivatives. So it's almost like fans within the community are going to do more things with the crypto Mori community. You can't see this. Let me zoom in differently. And I'll read it to you. The derivative is a teaser for an upcoming Crypto Mori comic series. The winner of the initial auction will have the option to have one or more of their Moris featured as a main character in the same upcoming comic series. So this was an auction that was put out there, and I won the auction. And whoever's creating this comic strip, look at, I won the auction for 0.1, 0.1 ETH. Maybe I think it was like $500 or so. I won the auction, and now both of my crypto Moris, the artist reached out to you, and I asked, hey, which one are you going to use? I've got 2 crypto Moris, and he's like, I'm going to use them both. So I don't want to sell these crypto Moris because they're going to be stars in a comic strip series, right? I don't get any money from that comic strip series. That artist does, and he's going to probably, whoever's going to buy that comic strip, probably the 10,000 strong crypto Mori community, because they all follow each other on Twitter. They're all going to talk about each other on Twitter. I'm going to have 2 stars of a comic book. And so that comic strip may go nowhere, and that artist may not ever make that comic strip. And that's a risk I take. But that comic strip could sell 10,000 copies. That comic strip could turn into a movie. I could have the next Spider-Man. This is to the moon ideas. But that's the way I'm thinking about this, the NFTs. And so if that comic book takes off, I'm going to tell you every day about this comic book when it's out, right? Because I hold, it's called hold the bag, promote your bag. My bag of NFTs includes the starring comics of this comic strip. It's just really, really cool. So that's what crypto Moris are doing. And it's a completely different way of what Roaring Leaders is doing. And so that is one way of doing it. Now I'm going to talk about another community on NFTs. The most famous, I think, one you maybe heard of is Bored Ape Yacht Club. So what are they doing? These are all Bored Apes. The floor, wow, 68. So 68 times 4. Oh man, I'm so bad at math in my head. I actually got good math grades. 70 times 4, $280,000 roughly. Let me just, I'll show you. Buy now. Click on here. This is the cheapest one I can buy. All right, $215,000 to buy it. Okay, because ETH must have dropped down in price today. It's only $3,000. So there you go. The cheapest Bored Ape you can buy is $215,000. This is a pretty good looking one. The property's 2% hat, fairly rare, but you're not really buying the artwork here in Bored Apes. You're buying their community. And so this is just, it's got clout. This is what celebrities are buying. And, you have a Bored Ape, you go in the Bored Ape community, you're talking to anonymous people, but who can afford the cheapest one's $200,000? It's going to be the original artists. This community is made of the original artists, the original collectors who are friends of the artists or just got lucky. But then you got a lot of rich people, celebrities. Like I said, last week, I was tracking something that was, I said, I wanted to see who bought the most recent Bored Ape. And so I went to, I forgot what website was showing me that, but might have been OpenSea. And it was an account called, you can follow the white people, follow the white people. Here you go. Follow the white people. And you'll see here, it's like, who is follow the white people? They just bought they just bought this Bored Ape for $450,000. Let's look. I believe that was the price. He bought it for 99 ETH 6 days ago. Follow the white people. And I said, wow, man, who has that kind of money? 400 ETH was worth more at the time. Well, you click through his profile, and I found, it's Dave Chappelle. He also, the same person the same day, also bought davechappelle.eth, which is like a domain. So now if you want to rub shoulders and virtually with Dave Chappelle, you can go buy it. I assume he was with Eminem, because the reason I found this was there was a press release, a Twitter release, that Eminem just bought a Bored Ape for $400,000. And so I looked and I said, well, who just bought the most recent one for $450,000? It was Dave Chappelle, within the same 30-minute window. So my guess is, and this may be breaking news here, my guess is possibly they were in the same room together and they were getting consulting on what to buy in the NFT space, because it was, Dave Chappelle has way more in his wallet now. Eminem has way more in his wallet. But at that time, this was last week, both of them only had two things in their wallet. It was their ETH name and a Bored Ape. And so they were definitely getting coached, or they're friends with someone who's like, guys, you need to get in the NFT space. You need to buy a Bored Ape. So that's why I say it's a ticket to a community club. You are now part of the Bored Ape community if you have a Bored Ape. And why does that matter? Virtually. Some people might, well, I don't care. That's just a virtual thing. It's true in some regards, but they also do. A lot of these communities, Bored Ape, have in-person parties. Like, hey, we're going to rent out a hotel roof deck, and you can't get into the party unless you have a Bored Ape, right? So it's a social token, and so you'll hear that phrase a lot, a social token, and that's exactly what it is. And they also do other things. So I don't have a Bored Ape. I've debated it so many times. And I feel like I should, but it's also a lot to say. I've got $200,000 to buy into an NFT, but I do see the value. Let me go back to my profile and tell you what happens, and sort of how I piggyback off the Bored Ape community. So if you go back to my profile here, where is it? Okay, there's something here that you'd say is an Adidas into the metaverse. So Adidas is a brand, smart brand. They want to be hip and cool. If you're in the space of, selling things, the new generation is there's studies that come out. Generation Alpha, which comes after Generation Z. This is like 12 and younger. And you can search the shopping habits that are prediction of kids 12 and under. But it fuels from the Generation Z, which is the generation before. They like to be their own person, and what almost matters to them more is their profile. A lot of times online, and their online profile, but it's also about exclusivity. So Adidas is trying to buy into that, and they partnered with Bored Apes, and they say, guys, we want to do an NFT launch, and the first Adidas NFT launch. We're only going to allow Bored Ape holders to buy into this until, on day one. So they're like, Adidas released 30,000 of these metaverse NFTs. And so everyone was excited, because if you're a real big fan of Adidas, you couldn't do it unless you're in Bored Ape. So the Bored Ape community got first dibs with Adidas. This gives Adidas credibility and cool factor points. And then if you're a Bored Ape holder, you could buy this for $200 each on the original minting. Immediately after the minting, they were put up on OpenSea for $3,000. So just by holding a Bored Ape, you had early access to an NFT at a cheap original price that you could instantly flip. I just wanted to learn about this. I wanted to know, so I bought one of these Adidas NFTs for $3,000. And what now it's it looks like I could sell it for 2,751. So it's dropped in value for whatever reason. But what's going to happen is I'll probably get some sort of Adidas outfit that I can use in the metaverse, which may be important to some people. But it definitely also what the properties are here in phase one is that they're going to do a real life fashion drop of Adidas clothes, sneakers, shoes, whatever it is. We don't know yet, but they're telling us they're going to do a real life fashion drop. And guess what? You can only buy it if you've got this NFT. And so now I'm a part of an exclusive club that originally it would have been even more exclusive if I was a Bored Ape. I could buy it for cheap and not sell it. I had to buy my way into it secondarily and made another Bored Ape holder rich. But I'm not into fashion. I like Adidas. I think it's cool. I don't have a problem with Adidas. But now they got me, right? Like I've got this special card. Of course, I'm going to buy everything in this new drop because now it's like I've got this special pass to this exclusive collection and it's the first and it's the Genesis. It's going to be valuable. I feel like I should buy as much as I could and just hold it, you know. Part of me what was going to a problem like anyone would you wear it and you take a photo of yourself. Hey guys, I just bought this exclusive Adidas drop. As a company, that's exactly what Adidas wants. They want exclusivity, they want cool points, and they want everyone out there promoting on their behalf and wearing their Adidas clothes. And you know, they could get it's just great business. It's great business for Adidas. You'll see that it says phase one. So this is a really interesting thing. And so once they do a closing drop in phase one, I cash in this card to buy whatever they sell. This card turns into phase two. And that means I can no longer buy phase one close, but I get opportunity to buy into whatever phase two is. Maybe phase two is metaverse only. Maybe phase two is a leather jacket or whatever. I have no idea. And now I can buy phase two and then my card turns into phase three. I get 4 phases out of this card. And I just thought it was pretty cool. And so that's another way NFTs are going to change shopping, right? Can you see that like everything is going to be an NFT, like not just artwork. This is a company doing NFTs and doing it smartly. Very, very intelligent way of getting customers hooked and excited and piggybacking off other cool art NFTs like Bored Apes. Okay, as you can tell, I'm excited about this. This is the future. You need to know this. I love it. I love it. I love it. And I'm going to be creating my own NFT. So stay tuned. Give me. It's going to take me about 4 to 6 months, but I'm creating my own NFT, and we're going to do all these cool things. And now I'm going to show you. Oh, man, I'm an hour in, but I have another hour's worth of work to tell you, Ben. I want to teach you about. Maybe it's another episode. I've got so many more information. I'm going to stop there because. My movie, let me change my cam. Sorry, I know my camera just went out. Let me switch cameras. That one's not working either. Both my cameras went out. All right, one second. I'm still here. Both my cameras went out. Anyway, maybe this is a sign that I should end the episode. But this is just really exciting stuff to me. Oh, I see what I did wrong. All right, this is the camera I'm talking to. Okay. Man, I want to keep talking. Okay. All right, I'm gonna talk. Well, one more. Gary, God, that's gonna be it. All right, guys. Here's a question. That's probably good. Why don't we end there? I've got way more excitement. I've only shown you 2 or 3, man. Yeah, it's gonna be another episode because I've got so many different ways to teach you about NFTs. Okay. This is a joke question. If you have questions, let me know. I want to answer the questions for you. And Oh gosh, there's so many different ways you can take this. So let me just riff a little bit, and I'm going to do a second episode on NFTs. Different ways to do NFTs. You got basically the beginner here, and I'll do a series 2 coming up. But ask questions. No, so now think of this like real estate. Obviously, I'm a big real estate guy. I love real estate. How are NFTs going to change real estate? Well, think of it this way. When you buy a house, you have to hire a closing attorney, and that closing attorney has to make sure that there's clean title. What is clean title? It's a blockchain, right? Clean title says, I want to know the person before you and the person before that, and the person before that doesn't have an open debt or a foreclosure that they haven't paid off, or someone else has put a lien on this property. That's what a title attorney does. And every closing has one where they make sure that the person selling you the property actually owns the property and that you're buying something that's actually the property. So if you can imagine, it's just being replaced by the blockchain. Boom, title attorneys out of business. You don't need that anymore because you can say, here's the provenance. This person built this house. This person bought it then with the clean title, and you never have to pay for title fees again. It's wrapped into the contract. You can add things to it. Surveys to the property. This is original survey to the property. All these things that people may pay for when they buy a house, get a survey done. You don't need to do that. It's already in the NFT of the house. As a house builder, why would I not put a 1% royalty? if that house ever sells again, and even as a realtor, if that house sells again, I get 1%. And imagine just every home builder has a 1% royalty on the house. Everyone's once again in the home building business, house flipping business. You own the house, turn it into an NFT, you get a 1% royalty every time it sells. Man, maybe it doesn't sell in 30 years, but in 30 years, it'll probably go up in value 10 times. And you just create this generation wealth for your families because you have a 1% royalty on every single house. That's one thing that NFTs can do to real estate. Another thing that NFTs can do to real estate is mortgages. Right now, traditional way to get a mortgage, you go to jasminehomelending.com where I'm a partner, you fill out your mortgage paperwork. In the future, that will exist, but another way to get mortgages, you could sell fractional debt. You could say, guys, I need to raise $100,000 to buy a house. I'm selling 10 NFTs for $1,000 each. And fractional debt, and I will pay whoever has an NFT for 30 years, $500 or whatever it is, and you're paying these NFT holders, and that NFT holder gets basically is a debt collector, and they can sell the NFT for more money to someone else who wants more debt, or if they want to get in and out. So you can swap these NFT cards, which is just fractional holders of debt. There's all these cool things like people are doing. I will make an episode shortly where it's just dedicated to these ideas. But there you have it. Thanks, guys. That's your intro to NFTs. I only got half through what I wanted to say. So I guess Monday, my follow-up episode, I will continue this conversation. So thanks for tuning in. Please go to my link tree. It says House of AC on the screen. It's the House of AC. So we just changed it today because I am the House of AC on Twitter and on Instagram, on TikTok. Follow me in all those places. I love it. And my Discord is really important, the House of AC Discord. That's where the lifeblood of NFTs live. So I'll talk to you guys then. Thanks for tuning in to the House of AC.